Well, hello to all the antique Maytag Wringer washer fans out there. This video is a short tutorial on changing out the grease or oil in a Model 30. This would also apply to the Model A, which was its predecessor, and the later model, which was 32. So basically the power unit or gearbox was the same for the models A, 30 and 32. And I made the mistake when I did the restoration on this machine of putting in a heavyweight gear oil. That was not heavy enough, so subsequently I constantly had a little leak out of the drive shaft here where the pulley attaches to the belt. So constantly I was mopping up a little dribble of grease that collected at the bottom of the belt guard, which was a bit of a pain. So I thought, well, I got to bite the bullet and change out the oil with proper thick grease. Nothing except, I guess, the main gear moves at any speed, so it's not as if it's a high performance type gearbox at all. So the grease will be sufficient and actually authentic to what Maytag put in, and also that should hopefully prevent the little leak problem that I have. So just to give you a quick rundown, to get the tub off, of course you've got to remove the 8 bolts that attach to the legs, and the wringer post has to come off. Well, there it is lying there. The belt guard on the front, because you have to access a bolt that connects or secures the belt guard to the power unit, and then the bolts on the top of the power unit itself. So you can see all those have to come out, and then underneath the tub there are 3 bolts that go up into the tub to actually anchor the tub to the power unit. So that's it, just 3 bolts, and also the drain hose has to be disconnected as well. So you got the two bolts for that. And then to ease lifting off and then subsequently returning the tub to the legs, it helps immensely if you loosen off the bolts that attach the legs to the frame. Not completely, just enough to make them loose, and that'll make removing the tub a lot easier. You won't scratch paint, especially like this one that I've repainted entirely. So I think that pretty much covers it. That's the oil, of course, that will be removed. And if there are any questions, if you've got your own project on the go, don't hesitate to contact me. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Okay, folks, so to continue on with this little project of replacing the oil in the power unit with grease as per Maytag's procedures. This is the grease that I'm going to use. It's from a automotive store in Canada called Canadian Tire. Their house brand is Motomaster, and this is basically all-purpose grease, farm and truck grease. And I'll admit that I'm not familiar with the codes, but this is an NLGI Grade 2. So you can see it's fairly it's thick like Vaseline, really, and that'll prevent it from leaking out through that pulley drive shaft there. So now that the other oil has been removed, you can see the internal workings. So as this drive shaft from the pulley turns the worm screw, or the worm gear, it turns the main gear there, with the offset to the crank arm, which goes over to the segment gear, which then drives the agitator shaft pinion. And this is a really simple clutch mechanism. So here's the handle, as we all know. in the off position. And then for the on, it simply pushes it up to engage with the bottom of the drive shaft in the tub, which is right here, of course. And that remains stationary. And of course this gear is the one that pivots and engages. It's a pretty simple mechanism. And one thing I neglected to mention too, for those who may be attempting this with a Model A or early Model 30s, up to probably about 1934, 35, thereabouts, in addition to the bolts and the gasket here, there were spacer washers, 6 spacer washers that were crucial to be placed equally along the housing. And what that did was properly spaced, or gave proper spacing for this gear to work. But in later Model 30s, so from about 1935 or onward, at least, and then Model 32s as well, there was no spacers. So I guess they adjusted the clamshell fitting because they're not necessary anymore. But definitely be careful when you're taking apart your Model A or your Model 30 that you don't lose those spacer washers, because they could easily fall in the grease and be lost. So yeah, be very careful of that. That's about it. I'll pack it now with the grease and reassemble it, and it should be good to go. Thanks for watching.